Hey guys, what is going on? TBC here, and welcome to a very special Smite video. Today I'm going to be telling you guys what the top 5 hunters are, the current meta of Smite without the golden bow, when golden bow was removed. And this is based on my opinion on what the top 5 hunters are. And I'm going to give some solid reasons why these hunters are, I believe, the top ones as of this moment. And we're going to start off with number 5. And the 5th spot goes to Neath. In my opinion, the 5th spot here goes to Neath only because she's got the early game and she's got a pretty decent mid game as well. And the main thing now that golden bow is removed is that gods don't have the best, or hunters don't have the best wave clear. They have to rely on abilities to clear the wave, which means they cost mana, which means Transcendence is going to be replacing golden bow in my opinion, so hunters can clear the wave faster. So I'm going to go with Neath on this one because not only will Transcendence also give her a little bit more power in the beginning of the game with all the stacks, but her 1 basically leveled it up 3 times plus her 2 equals a full wave clear pretty early on, about level 6 or 7. Neath can clear an entire wave by herself without her support's need. So yeah, all around a pretty good god, I believe, to clear up the early game to help a lot in mid game. She can, got the range around the map to help with her ult. So I believe that she's a very valuable god right now in a lot of team fight aspects and everything like that. And her wave clear is just pretty much one of the best hunter wave clears in my opinion. And now the 4th spot I want to say is got to go to Medusa. And Medusa doesn't have the, in my opinion, the greatest early game. However, I believe Medusa, once her 2 is leveled at least 3 or 4 times, she can pretty much clear the wave very well. And with Transcendence, she's going to pack a lot of power behind her with the mid and late game Medusa potential carry. So with her Petrify up there, she's very valuable for team fights, and yeah, she's overall really good. In my opinion, you didn't really need Golden Bow and Medusa to start. I would love to build Trans on her because she is very mana hungry in my opinion. And so yeah, the 4th spot would go right here to Medusa because of her awesome wave clear and all the damage she brings to the table. The 3rd spot, in my opinion, is going to go to Xbalanque. Xbalanque, Xball, whatever you guys want to call him, the 3rd spot goes to him. And it goes to Xball because his 1, alright? His 1 is basically Golden Bow that cost mana, alright? And Xball is a super late game hyper carry. And he's one of my favorite gods to play, actually, like one of my favorite hunters, rather. And he's just overall, he's going to need a support to be able to watch him over a little bit in the early game and not really too much in the mid game. But if he gets like an early game kill or 2, he is going to be dominating the lane and just be pushing everybody back. And even with Transcendence full stacks, he should be able to fight pretty well on his own with boots than Ichaival on his side. So I'm pretty sure Xball would be the next best choice for that because of his wave clear with his 1 and all his high damage and stuff mid and late game. Now, the 2nd spot, in my opinion, is going to go to Scotty. And yes, Scotty. Scotty is pretty good. I love her. She's really dangerous, to be honest, if you fight a Scotty with like Crusher and just full on pen and crit. It's literally one of the worst experiences I ever have in Conquest matches. I normally dread facing Scotty. It's just, I hate it. It's just terrible. When you start with Scotty in the beginning of the game, her wave clear is her 1, and basically if you level up her 1 as soon as you spawn in Conquest, she has 2 abilities already usable, Colder and her 1. So not only does Scotty have 2 abilities when she's level 1, she's able to help take out buffs a lot quicker, and her clear is pretty good. If her 1's leveled about 3 times and give it a couple autos on the minions, the wave's pretty much cleared. She's got Colder to help get some major damage onto the field, and then her ult's just pretty good with the roots and everything and her high burst damage. So I mean, Scotty's a pretty valuable god, even in team fights. You give her the right actives, you give her the right items, and she can carry the team to victory pretty much every time. And now the number 1 spot in this video, and it took me a while to actually think about this spot. And I'm going to give you my opinion on a couple of these things and why some of the other hunters won't be taking this spot. Hui Yi is very good, don't get me wrong. I love Hui Yi. He is still one of the top tier hunters. However, I'm mainly kind of focused on wave clear and everything like that. Hui Yi is very good in team fights, don't get me wrong. If he lands some pretty good ricochets, his ult's a game changer at that. But the reason why Hui Yi's not right now, in my opinion, this current meta, is because he doesn't have the best wave clear. His 1 needs to be leveled at least 4 or 5 times before you're able to fully clear a wave, and even though that's mainly Hui Yi's main damage is with his ricochet, so I mean, without the ricochet, he's kind of defenseless, or defenseless in the beginning, and he can't really provide that much damage unless he's in the mid and late game where his autos hurt like a motherfucker. I'm gonna be it just hurts. And then Chiron. I believe Chiron needs a buff, in my opinion. He's not that good, in my opinion. His 1 is alright for wave clear, and his 2 is pretty good, but Chiron's more of a mid and late game type of god, in my opinion, because really, overall, in the beginning of the game, he doesn't do too much damage. And it's kind of sad, to be honest, because Chiron's such a great hunter when he first came out. He had a lot of potential and a lot of, power and stuff, and his ult's fantastic if you can land the shots and, you get brought back to life. It's like almost like a Kumbhakarna, but passive, but you do damage. And then Artemis, she's not in this number 1 spot because she has no wave clear. Alright? She is a mid-late game god. She needs all this wave clear. Her wave clear's in her 3 now. If you really want to play Artemis in Conquest, or in any game mode rather, and you have to clear wave as the hunter, you're going to need to use your 3. And that's a big point of damage out of Artemis in her early game perspective. So it's really mana costly. So if you're Artemis, it's going to be very hard for you to keep up whatever hunter or, magic ADC like Sol, Kronos, or even Vulcan, at times in the ADC duo lane, because Artemis just relies too much on her abilities, in my opinion, early game and even a little bit mid game to get the kills, like Tusky and everything like that. And the last place, or not last place, the first one is actually going to be Amazon Cobb. Alright? And I know what you're thinking, AMC should have been like 2 or maybe 3, and Uller or Jingwei should have been 1. Jingwei doesn't have good wave clear at all. Her 1's not that good of wave clear, and especially now that she doesn't have Golden Bow, she's not that good at clearing wave. She's still a good god, don't get me wrong, but clearing wave, she can't really do it too well. So I choose Amazon Cobb for the number 1 spot because AMC is dangerous. Alright? Give him his hives, he regenerates mana back, and his attack speed increases, and he is just powerful. He is a late game god, mid-late game god in my opinion. More would say he's more late game. However, his 3 did get a buff this last patch, and it bleeds a little bit more and it does more damage when it's maxed. So his wave clear can vary from his 1-3 combo to just his 2, and then he's also dangerous with his autos. They do hurt very much. His wave clear now, if you guys are playing AMC, I would rather you guys use your 1-3 combo, because it not only will make the minions bleed to death, but rather you have your 2, which does a high chunk % damage to your target if you land it, and plus your ultimate, which pretty much guarantees you a kill most times as AMC. And AMC can basically, he can hyper carry you through a game. He may not have a getaway, but he has such high burst damage that it really might not matter depending on what team you have to back you up and everything like that. So that's why AMC is the number 1 in my opinion. And there are other gods here that you guys may say, oh, the greatest ADCs, this and that, the best wave clear. And I'm only counting hunters in this and not the mages, because, in my opinion, Sol, she could still ADC. In my opinion, her wave clear is still amazing and stuff like that. You can totally box a hunter with Sol autos mid-late game. You may not be able to crit them, but you can hurt the hell out of them with those autos, plus Polynomicon and abilities, it's just going to hurt. So Sol is still pretty good in my opinion, and Kronos is alright too. He's not as used as much as he used to be, because he's still pretty good in high burst damage, but that's really late game, but that's a whole different topic. Those two are still pretty good for ADC uses, but these are the top 5 hunters that I think are in meta right now, and the ones that you should use if you guys want to become better hunters, ADCs, and to win more conquest matches. So let me know what you guys think of my list down in the comment section below. Leave a like, dislike, whatever you guys want on the video, and let me know what gods you got. If you agree with me that these 5 are the top, or do you agree that a different god like maybe Rama or Uller should be in a different spot, or should be on this list as well. But don't forget, this is just my opinion and my thoughts on it, and I will see you guys later on in another episode of Smite or Pokemon or whatever. So, later guys.